Let's be honest, collecting feedback on websites can be an absolute nightmare, whether it's comments coming in at the wrong time or not knowing what people are referring to. It's just an absolute nightmare. And it sounds absolutely stupid because I thought I would have shared this a lot sooner because we use it on every single project. And that's a tool called Pastel. If you haven't heard of it, I'll go through it now, but essentially it's pure and simply aimed at collecting feedback and actioning that feedback on your website. And it's really, really simple to use. So I'm inside of Pastel here and you can see some old projects. We'll go over those in just a second, just so I can demonstrate it in action. All I've got to do, I can upload a PDF or directly link to a website. I'm not quite sure what email does, but for our intents and purposes, let's go into website and we'll add my travel website. Built of course in Webflow, and I actually built this live just to kind of go back to basics. Actually, I'll leave a link to that in the description, and we can add that website as a canvas and let that load up, and you can see it's popped up here. And what this enables me to do, let's say for example I built this for someone and I'm ready for a round of feedback. What I can do, I can create this canvas and now I can add people or share this canvas with those people. And if we're going from, and you can switch between browse, so you could just so you're able to click through on those certain pages and it not do anything. But if we're in commenting mode, someone can hover over an area of somewhere. I know something I want to do here. Actually, that might make sense to do. And I can type something like add padding to top of this. And then I can post that as a comment. And that will get added then if we go to here. From a developer standpoint or designer standpoint, I'm looking at these as kind of like a checklist exercise of things I need to do on that current round of feedback. Now there's a bit of a soft, let's say soft skill of really managing your clients here. We'll get into how you can create new versions as you progress through the website. But my advice here, just quick and dirty, I don't mind sharing the work and progress at any time during the project. I feel like it builds a lot of trust, but I always say I'm not ready for feedback at this point. Only when I'm ready for feedback, I then allow them to do that. And I think you can actually turn that on and off. So you can actually just prevent people from leaving comments anyway. So this is really helping us manage that workflow. But yeah, as a designer, developer, I see these list of comments as a checklist exercise. And then of course, I can go in, clarify questions, but what you can see here is I can see what browser they were using, what size, and various things like that. So I can really match those properties so that I can recreate the issue themselves. But of course, this is just padding. Quite easy to see. We can of course switch between mobile and desktop, and these are basic versions, but ultimately you can just recreate these if it's an odd breakpoint size here or whatever. And then I can just, let's add another comment just to keep it going. What don't I like on this website right now? Okay, I want to make this clickable. Okay, there's another one. So if I click in here, I'm like, okay. Well, let's go into number one. Okay, blah, blah, blah. I'll go into Webflow and I'll make that padding adjustment and then I can put it into review or I can whatever. But ultimately I can manage these and then it's a case of going to the next one, boom, do what I need to do, make the change and it is done. It is that simple, Pastel. So I really, really like it. Like I said, I've used it for pretty much every single project I have worked on. And then you can, of course, finish the review, close that sort of session down, and no longer are you accepting feedback from the client or whoever. And then, of course, you can create a new version which will cache the next version of your website, because if you've made those updates, you might not necessarily see them. And then you can create a new version, accept new round of feedback, and you've got a clean slate and the process starts again. It's a really, really powerful tool, really, really like it. So let's jump into some of the old websites that we've worked on here. So here is an existing example that I've got, and what we've got is 14 resolved comments here and on this current version. And you can see that there's conversations happening on here. Where would a conversation be? You can see which browser they were using, what sizes. It's just such a powerful tool and a really simple tool to manage your feedback coming in. So I'm a massive fan of using Pastel. You can see this is version 3, so we can work back through the different versions. And what I haven't used yet actually is this automatic ticket creation, which presumably when someone creates a task or a comment or adds a comment, that syncs to something like Trello or Asana or Jiro, and the conversation and whatever gets imported into that. And that way you can move your project management into that workflow. Now I'm not too sure whether if you resolve something in Trello that it then resolves it in Pastel, but it's a really nice feature anyway. So if you do use those tools, it's got that integration there. So I'll leave an affiliate link in the description below if you do choose to sign up. I think this is such great value for money, and it's really helped me refine my website review workflow. So I think it's going to help you too if you are struggling with that. But I'm curious to know how you do your website reviews. Do you struggle with them, or do you have an alternative tool similar to Pastel that you find quite effective? Let me know down in the comments, and until next time, happy no coding.